Hey everybody, I'm CJ, and I saw this article right here on bounding into comics, and at least the headline gives you the impression that there's there's a little bit of an anti-male thing going on with the creative team behind the Black Widow, and I'm actually kind of wondering if some of these some of these comments are a little bit taken out of context, at least as it relates to Black Widow. I'm wondering if this article here isn't, if it's not missing the forest but hitting the trees. All right, because there's basically some back and forth and some kind of misguided quotes, and we're certainly going to get into those. There's a larger point that I want to make, and so I don't necessarily want to dwell too much on like the specifics of this article. There's maybe a broader point that needs to be made here. So anyway, but really the headline seems like it says it all. The Black Widow writer confirms Tony Stark cameo was cut. Director says decision was made to keep male Avengers out of the movie. So there's some back and forth about this. At one point, there was going to be a cameo appearance for Tony Stark in the script. It was cut out of the script. And I don't even know if new shooting would have needed to be done for that, because what it sounds like is that this would have used basically footage from Civil War. It says so right here. While Pearson confirmed there was indeed a Tony Stark cameo using Civil War footage in an earlier script, Black Widow director Kate Shortland revealed in an interview with Total Film that Kevin Feige made the decision to ensure no male Avengers were showcased in the film. So that sounds kind of bad. But I mean, when you think about it, if you're going to make a Superman movie, then Superman is the guy that needs to save the day. If you're going to make like a Spider-Man TV show, Spider-Man is the guy that needs to save the day. And as it goes for Black Widow, which appears to be cratering in its second weekend, as it goes for Black Widow, if you're going to make a Black Widow movie, then Black Widow is the one that needs to save the day, or she's the one that needs to defeat the bad guy, or retrieve the Crystal of Doom, or fucking whatever the task of the movie is. She's the one that needs to do it. So in a certain kind of way, I can understand this logic. I think it actually makes a certain amount of sense. But when you get a little bit further down, this is where I think the writer he's close, but not quite there, but it's like in the main, like he's basically right, you know? Let's see, this is, Kevin Feige was quoted by Rolling Stone magazine as having said, "We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized," and he's talking about WandaVision here. "We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie. Here's the white guy. Let me show you how power works." And to me, this is actually kind of irritating, because, like I say, in a show about in a show about Wanda, apparently that's what we have to fucking call her now. In a show about Wanda is the character who needs to save the day. She's the one that needs to, like I say, overcome the obstacles or she's the one that needs to solve the mystery or just fucking whatever's going on, right? It has to be her. Otherwise, if it's Wanda's show, but somebody else shows up to solve everything, then the fuck was this all about? So in a way, I can kind of understand where Feige's coming from here. This is supposed to be Wanda's story. Let's let it be Wanda's story. But his rationale behind this is just, it's just idiotic, I mean, he got it right at first. He even says it would have taken away from Wanda. All right. And I agree. It absolutely would have. Not that I've watched WandaVision, but you get the idea. But then he goes on to say, "We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie. Here's the white guy. Let me show." Like, what's up with that "here's the white guy" thing? Like, what exactly did he mean by that? And I guess since we're on the subject, a question that all of these movie studios should probably be asking themselves is, how badly do you really want to piss off white guys by talking down to them, denigrating them, and just dismissing them like that. Because I'm here to tell you, Endgame doesn't make $2 billion or whatever it was worldwide if a shit ton of white guys aren't going to see it, you know? But for some reason, it seems to be okay to most people that this is an ethnic group, or this is the male of the species. It's okay to talk shit about them, but everyone else, well, they're some kind of an oppressed minority. And it's like, number one, that's not true. Number two, worldwide, white people are a minority. And number three, white guys are, I don't want to say, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just say it. And if I'm wrong, whatever. But white guys are like your core audience on these movies and on these TV shows and everything. And so when you piss on them, you dismiss them, you tell them outright that they don't matter. How long do you think you're going to be able to keep doing that before white guys stop showing up? And I'm actually kind of interested to find out about that. I would actually love to see an MCU movie or an MCU show come along and it just doesn't get traction with the white male audience. And we'll see if I'm right or wrong about how influential that audience really is. But it's, I guess I don't understand why these shows or why these movies can't be for everybody. Why does everything need to be turned into identity politics, or why does everything need to have some kind of stupid ass feminist ideology underlying it? I mean, it's aggravating, you know? So anyway, nevertheless, it's just to all outward appearances, it looks like the MCU is well on its way to getting woke. And so it's my fondest hope that it goes broke. So I guess we'll see. But I don't know. It's just, I came up as a comic book fan in a time and in a place when comic books, not in the SJW way, but comics really were for everybody. You know, if you have money in your pocket, Marvel wanted to sell comics to you. Or if you had money in your pocket, DC wanted to sell comics to you, you know? And it just doesn't seem to be that way anymore, you know, where certain movies or certain comics or certain shows are intended for like these really tiny niche audiences and everyone else can go fuck themselves. And I don't know, maybe it's a little too old man screams at the sky, but you know, whatever. That's that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, comment, like, and share this video because it really helps me out. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Cole Loves Comics.